global stage. Claim your fame. MoveQuest. Start the game. Touchdown, crowd rose, banners in the sky. All flags, one float, everybody fly. Heart rate, upgrade, engine in my chest. Every step, every rep, going for my best. Clock tick, sweat drip on the painted lane. No script, just grit, just muscle and brain. I came from the grind, from the long dog miles. Now the world locked in on my profile. Welcome to the MoveQuest games. Earn that MQT for your pain. If you feel that burn in your veins, put your hands up high. MoveQuest games. Every loss, every win, every trial. We were built for the sweat and the strain. The elite are flexing their fire. Are flexing their fire. Yeah. Whoa, yeah, yeah. Line up, eyes up, silence in the air. One breath, then burst, I'm already there. Chasing that mark, that record on the wall. Either I rise or I learn from the fall. Friends turn rivals, rivals turn fam. All in the circle, we respect the slam. Oh, data on the board, story in the skies. We're the ones turning hustle into stars. Welcome to the MoveQuest games. Earn that MQT for your pain. If you feel that burn in your veins, put your hands up high. MoveQuest games. Every loss, every win, every trial. We were built for the sweat and the strain. The elite are flexing their fire. Are flexing their fire. From the block to the track to the mat to the ring. Every move that you make is a crown, is a ring. From the screen to the street to the roar of the stands. All the grind, all the time in your hands. Hands up. Hands up. Welcome to the MoveQuest games. Earn that MQT for your pain. If you feel that burn in your veins, put your hands up high. MoveQuest games. Every loss, every win, every trial. We were built for the sweat and the strain. The elite are flexing their fire. Yeah. Are flexing their fire. Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Global stage. Claim your fame. MoveQuest. Start the game. Hey, hey. Yeah. Touchdown, crowd roars, banners in the sky. All flags, one floor, everybody fly. Heart rate, upgrade, engine in my chest. Every step, every rep, going for my best.
Clock tick, sweat drip on the painted lane. No script, just grit, just muscle and brain. I came from the grind, from the long dark miles. Now the world locked in on my profile.
Welcome to the MoveQuest games. Earn that MQT for your pain. If you feel that burn in your veins,
Put your hands up high.
MoveQuest games. Every loss, every win, every trial. We were built for the sweat and the strain.
The elite are flexing their fire.
Line up, eyes up, silence in the air. One breath, then burst, I'm already there. Chasing that mark, that record on the wall. Either I rise or I learn from the fall.
Friends turn rivals, rivals turn fam. All in the circle, we respect the slam. Data on the board, story in the scars. We're the ones turning hustle into stars.
Welcome to the MoveQuest games. Earn that MQT to the track, to the mat, to the ring. Every move that you make is a crown, is a ring. From the screen to the street, to the roar of the stands. All the grind, all the time in your hands. Hands up, hands up, hands up, hands up. Welcome to the MoveQuest games. Earn that MQT for your pain. If you feel that burn in your veins,
Put your hands up high.
MoveQuest games. Every loss, every win, every trial. We were built for the sweat and the strain.
The elite are flexing their fire.
Global stage. Claim your fame. MoveQuest. Start the game! Touchdown, crowd roars, banners in the sky. All flags, one floor, everybody fly. Heart rate upgrade, engine in my chest. Every step, every rep, blow going for my best.
Clock tick, sweat drip on a painted lane.
No script, just grit,
Just muscle and brain.
I came from the grind, from the long dark miles.
Now the world locked in on my profile.
Welcome to the MoveQuest games.
Earn that MQT for your pain.
If you feel that burn in your veins,
Put your hands up high.
MoveQuest games.
Every loss, every win, every trial.
We were built for the sweat and the strain.
The elite are flexing their fire. Line up, eyes up, silence in the air. One breath, I'm already there. Chasing that mark, that record on the wall. Either I rise or I learn from the fall.
Fans turn rebels, rebels turn fam. All in a circle, we respect the slam. Data on the board, story in the scars. We're the ones turning hustle into stars. Welcome to the MoveQuest games.
Earn that MQT for your pain.
If you feel that burn in your veins,
Put your hands up high.
MoveQuest games.
Every loss, every win, every trial.
We were built for the sweat and the strain.
The elite are flexing their fire. Rock to the track, to the mat, to the ring. Every move that you make is a crown, is a ring. From the screen to the street, to the roar of the stands. All the grind, all the time in your hands.
Welcome to the MoveQuest games.
Earn that MQT for your pain.
If you feel that burn in your veins,
Put your hands up high.
MoveQuest games.
Every loss, every win, every trial.
We were built for the sweat and the strain.
The elite are flexing their fire.
All right, everybody. We're going to get started here in about 2 minutes. We had some people, we had 2 different links going, so We're getting some of the people that was on the other link back over on this side, and we will get everything going. Glad to have everyone this evening.
Face up tight, feel the ground shake. Every step's a dollar I make. Left foot, right foot, it's a game we play. Health and wealth in a single sway.
Step by step, watch me climb. Every move I'm cashing time. Run, walk, jump, it's all mine. Get healthy, get wealthy, redefine. Yeah, get healthy, get wealthy.
Redefine. What's my currency? No bank in sight. Sunrise to sunset, I own the night. Every stretch, every twist has a price. This grind pays twice, it's paradise. No excuses, no delay. Every motion makes my pay.
Yeah, hey, step by step,
Watch me climb. Every move I'm cashing time.
run, walk, jump.
It's all mine. Get healthy, get wealthy. Redefine.
Hey, step by
step. Watch me climb. Every move I'm cashing time. Run, walk, jump. It's all mine. Get healthy, get wealthy. Redefine.
stumble, fall. I'm still in the race. Each bruise another badge I embrace. Momentum builds, can't erase the sound of coins in every pace. Every pace, every pace. Yeah, come out.
Get healthy, get wealthy, redefine.
All right, all right. Once again, we want to welcome everybody to tonight's Tuesday night MoveQuest weekly community call. Hope everybody's been having a wonderful week thus far, and hope it continues as such. As always, we have our normal crew in the building this evening. We have Mr. Hayden Andre, who's going to be sharing a few words with us here momentarily. Always happy to hear what he has to say about what's going on inside the community. And then we'll bring up Miss Lynette so she can share and provide updates, information, and education on all things MoveQuest. Mr. Hayden, how are you doing this evening, sir?
Herschel Crow, always good to see you tonight. How is everything going on your side?
Wonderful, wonderful.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another super cool Tuesday night MoveQuest community call event. Hayden Andre here, your friendly neighborhood digital asset investor. You know me, I am always live, always energized, fired up, and super excited about success. I want to say a big congratulations to everyone who completed their run towards the multi-chain mining challenge targets. Some of you are leveling up in a super big way. Today is day number 130 out of 155 days of this multi-chain mining expansion challenge. Now, for those of you who have a few more days to complete, stay locked on to that target. You are literally only a few days away from achieving a big victory. Now, lastly, a business professional call out to all of the A players who are listening. Every single Monday night at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Yours truly, along with my trustworthy partner in Italy, Europe, Mr. Rosario, we host an event called the Deal Closers Zoom event, the Deal Closers Zoom info session. That's what we call it. This event is designed to train and discuss strategies that help with all stages of the enrollment process. And also, we open the mic and we deal with all obstacles in this area head on. As you might know, expanding MoveQuest is the #1 priority right now, and MoveQuest has a powerful sales commission program that will reward productivity that causes MoveQuest to grow. Anyone who is interested in that, reach out to me personally and let me know. My Instagram handle and the TikTok handle is hayden.mq. As always, please remember to slow it down. Slow it down and take your time when you're doing transactions in Web3, blockchain, and the digital asset space. Success requires focus, determination, and precision-styled action. Machine mode is in full effect. Stay focused, max out, and level up. Mr. Herschel Crow, back over to you.
All right, Mr. Hayden, thank you for that. A couple of things I just want to bring back to everyone's attention. First and foremost, May 28th, 29th, for any of you that are in or around the Utah area, Sandy, Utah, to be more specific. MoveQuest will officially be showcasing or having a booth inside of FitCon there in Sandy, Utah. So anybody that, whether you live in that area or going to be around that area or want to go to that area, all are welcome to attend and enjoy the festivities and help promote MoveQuest at the same time. Also, I have, like I said last week, embarked upon a journey of taking my body through something that it hasn't gone through in a very, very long time. So y'all pray for me, please. But anyway, I am going to be competing, or at least completing, I should say, not competing. That probably won't happen this year, next year maybe. But this year, I will at least be completing the Murph Challenge. So if there are any others of you, I know one in particular, but if there's any others of you inside the MoveQuest community that would like to take on that challenge as well, it's one of those things that we're going to be doing more so in solidarity than anything else. But it will be great to, commit to something mentally and then execute it physically and, be proud of the fact that you completed it and the benefits that are come at the same time. The MoveQuest games, we are going to be officially shifting that date back. I got a couple more votes to collect. I wanted to give all of the current participants the ability to, weigh in on when that was going to actually transpire. As of this moment, it looks like it's going to be Saturday, June the 6th, unless something really changes here over the next 2 or 3 days. But as of right now, that looks more like June the 6th, simply because we have Memorial Day weekend on the 23rd. MoveQuest is going to be showcasing in FitCon on the 28th and 29th. So that following weekend is when we will actually have the MoveQuest games, guys. The calendar's starting to fill up, and we're going to be looking at other activities, events, and things like that around the country to actually go to, participate in, or really, or even just show up to represent and let people around the world know that MoveQuest exists. So, without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and bring the lady of the hour to the floor, Miss Lynette Artin. How are you doing this evening, ma'am?
I'm doing pretty good. How about you guys? How's everybody
Wonderful.
else doing tonight?
Wonderful.
Very good. So let's see. I want to make sure everybody can see my screen. Let me pull this up first. Is my screen showing?
Let me get over there. I had all mine covered up. Yes, it is.
All right. All right. So here we go, you guys. We're going to get right started because I have been trying to really, I always say, okay, we're going to make these short, 20 minutes, half hour, and they always go an hour, hour and a half. So I'm really trying to be mindful of what we do. So tonight, you guys, for those of you who know me, I'm kind of nosy. For those of you who don't, I'm nosy. So I like to hear as much information that's out in the field as I can possibly get when it comes to MoveQuest. And so tonight, one of the things that I've heard that, floating around is the understanding of decentralization. And honestly, this is probably one word that is grossly misunderstood. And so by the end of I'm going to say 20 minutes. We'll see how close I can stick to it. I want to walk you out of this room with a new mental model, one that lets you tell the difference between a project that's truly decentralized and a project that's just wearing the word like a costume. So that is what tonight is about. What is decentralization? What does that mean to MoveQuest. So here's the problem, okay, with the term decentralization. Most arguments in crypto don't happen because one person is right and the other is wrong. They happen because the two people are comparing different kinds of decentralization, and neither one of them really know, right? I listen to people all day long. I can't tell you how many phone calls I get that talk to me like they are the king or queen of crypto knowledge and education. And, I have to be nice because the last thing you want to do is make somebody feel like they really are incompetent. So a lot of times I just keep my mouth shut. Sometimes it's really, really hard. So when somebody starts talking about decentralization and what it actually means, I'm like, okay, tonight, this is what this topic is going to be about. When someone says Bitcoin is decentralized, okay, someone else will say, well, Ethereum is decentralized. And then the third person might say, well, Uniswap is decentralized. Okay, they're all correct, but they're correct about completely different things. So before I go and I defend what is decentralized, let's explain first what MoveQuest is. And before we talk about any of the tokenomics or any of the financial fundamentals of MoveQuest, we need one shared definition. And it's this: decentralization isn't static, it's dynamic. Okay, static versus dynamic in the type of projects that you're talking about. And it's about permission. Who has it? Who doesn't? And who owns what? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you 3 flavors of decentralization that actually exist in the wild, wild west of crypto. The first model, this is what I call the stone model. It's the immutable model. Okay, set in stone. The best example is Bitcoin. The logic is very, very simple. If anyone can change the rules, the money isn't really neutral. So for Bitcoin to be hard money, the rules have to be almost impossible to alter. That's the whole point. Here's the problem with it, though. It's slow, it's rigid, and it's a feature if you're building digital gold, but it's a bug if you're building anything more complex than a ledger. Okay, so that's the problem with the immutable points of Bitcoin decentralization. Now, the Model 2 is the democracy. This is the governance based, like think about Ethereum or even Uniswap. The code can absolutely change, but the keyword is alone. No single person can change it alone. Changes come from token holders voting. That's what makes it decentralized, not the impossibility of change, but the distribution of who gets to decide. But here's the problem with that too. It's politics. It's all about politics and whales and voter apathy. So you still have the ability to fix things when something breaks, but it's really governance can be kind of unfair. Okay, so MoveQuest doesn't really care about the governance side of decentralization as much as we do our architecture. But now, okay, so the third one, I'm saying architecture, but this really isn't even MoveQuest either, okay? We have, and I'm going to explain MoveQuest's decentralization here very thoroughly in a few seconds. The third model is the architecture one. Okay, that's the one that's about physics, not philosophy. Where are the computers? Because if an app calls itself decentralized, but the whole thing runs on Amazon, then if AWS goes down on Tuesday afternoon and the app starts working, it wasn't decentralized. It was just a company with a nice slogan. So true architectural decentralizations means thousands of independent machines all over the world so that no government or no corporation can unplug it, which is what the MoveQuest blockchain with our light node system is doing. But that's still not MoveQuest. MoveQuest is layer 2. MoveQuest is not a blockchain. We built MoveQuest like a blockchain under the same fundamentals, but we are a layer 2. We are a project building on a blockchain. So now let's move on to what is centralized versus decentralized. And this is the single most useful table that I'm going to show you in this entire presentation. So if you remember nothing else tonight, remember these 5 rows. Centralized, you have to ask permission to access your money. Decentralized, you interact directly with the smart contract. You don't ask anybody for your money. That's MoveQuest. Centralized, one entity holds the keys. Decentralized, the keys are yours alone. We don't have access to the private keys of your external wallets or anything that holds your tokens. You are in total control. Centralized, the vault can be frozen, right? They can freeze your funds if you go to the bank and they don't like something that you're doing in your account, or if they think something looks fishy, or if your checking account's in the negative, or maybe you didn't stick to the, have to have so much in your checking account. They can freeze your funds in a New York minute. Decentralized, we can't freeze your funds. Ever. Can we ever freeze your funds? Centralized is when your holders hold the majority of the supply. And I'm going to tell you right now that many of your crypto projects operate on a centralized system just because of this. When you go to projects and you look at their tokenomics and they give you these, marketing percentage of tokens go here, and share, or they call them creators or developers or this or that, hold this amount of their token. Okay, by the time they get done distributing all of the tokens that they have in that project that's allocated outside of the community, it really kind of makes them centralized, even though they claim not to be. MoveQuest, we have 0 allocation. 0. There is nobody that was just given tokens just to give them to it. I am the creative mind behind MoveQuest. I didn't get not one single MoveQuest token given to me or taken. Waleed, not one. Anybody else that we've used for design, development, anything, 0. Core team, 0. Any admin, 0. Customer support, 0. 0, 0, 0. No allocation of tokens. Everybody has to mine them, or they have to buy them. And in a centralized system, any of their fees, that's just going to enrich their shareholders. MoveQuest, 90% of anything that's transacted in this ecosystem stays with the community. This is a big deal. Okay, this is centralized versus decentralized. This is what MoveQuest is right here. Now we're going to go on to the next slide. Talk about the bank versus the vending machine. When a bank wants to update its software, it can freeze your account. It can decline your transfers. It can hold your money for 3 business days. How many times have you guys gone in to deposit a check and they'll put a 7 to 10 day hold on it? Or how about if you transfer from, let's say, Coinbase, and they put a 14 to 21 day hold on it? That's happened to be multiple times. That's a centralized system. The bank owns the vault. You're a guest in their system, plain and simple. MoveQuest, we're like a vending machine. We build it, we upgrade it, we can add new snacks, we can fix a broken coin slot, but we never hold the keys to your wallet. All of those crypto tokens in that wallet, they all belong to you. We have 0 access to it. If MoveQuest Labs, which is the LLC of the MoveQuest project, that would be considered like the company, but they're 2 separate entities. If that vanished, guess what? Those smart contracts are still on the blockchain and you are still operating. It doesn't need any person, company, or centralized system to keep it up and operational. Which, when we talk about our blockchain, it's also been brought up that we're doing that like to collect more fees. No, there's some bigger, deeper reasons why we're building our blockchain and why we're using the light notes, because our blockchain can't be taken down. It doesn't operate on nodes dependent upon servers. Okay. Yes, there'll be some nodes server side, but the dependency is on the light nodes. And we'll get into that deeper, but that makes that blockchain unable to be brought down from a server side. Now we're going to talk about the architect versus the homeowner. Okay. MoveQuest, we're the architect. You're the homeowner. Okay. We drew up the blueprints. We offer the home improvements to keep your system secure and to keep it competitive, but we can't foreclose on your progress. We can't evict you from your earnings. Your proof of physical activity, your MQT, your data, that's recorded on chain, and the on chain record belongs to you. We don't share it, we don't store it, we don't sell it. You're the one that records it to the blockchain. Then we'll talk about the highway. Okay. I want you to picture a highway. Once in a while, the city closes a stretch of it. Why? Well, they're going to repave it. They're going to do upgrades. They're going to fix potholes. They have to take care of that highway. They're not stealing the road from you. They're not charging you a toll to get back on it. They're making it safer for the people who are using it. With MoveQuest, and we're going to use Binance Smart Chain as the example, where the claims contract is currently paused. Okay, this is exactly the same thing as a centralized city fixing a highway. We've paused the contract. That's not seizing it. Okay, at no point during our upgrades on the Binance Smart Chain is MoveQuest going to gain the ability to spend your tokens. Are we going to redirect your assets? Your crypto stays mathematically locked to your mining, okay, your wallet address. We're just updating the gate that you're going to walk through to access them. And we've made it really known for the last year and a half when we went to the Avalanche chain that we would not really be promoting the Binance Smart Chain until we had the protocol finished, the roadmap. That we were building on the Avalanche chain. We were going to complete there. Then we were going to go back and we were going to upgrade the Binance Smart Chain. There's about 200, 250 users on the Binance Smart Chain. And we encourage everybody to come here and build on the Avalanche blockchain, where we would be able to do our proof, the proof of what we're doing here. The whole build. We built over on the Binance Smart Chain for a year and a half. That's what got us started. Then we wanted to show the proof of what we had built, fresh on a brand new blockchain with all pieces working, right? And get it right on the Avalanche blockchain. And then we'll go back, upgrade the Binance Smart Chain, and then we're going to introduce the additional blockchains. Now, introducing the additional blockchains is not about getting more money out of you guys, because what did we do? We did the miner event, mirrored miner event. Submit for 90 days. And if you're mining with 18 Titans, we're going to give you $81,000 worth of miners for absolutely $0, right? If you mined with one Titan, we're going to give you one Titan on all 6 blockchains. If you mined with 8 Trailblazers, we're going to give you 8 Trailblazers on each of these blockchains. It wasn't a money grab at all. What it is it about being able to expand our reach, to be able to grow on these other chains as well, offer the MoveQuest protocol. Anybody, any project can use our system, just like you can go to Uniswap and use their exchange. Any project can come on to MoveQuest. All their smart contracts are created. They deposit their tokens that they want their community to mine. And then anybody in the MoveQuest community has the option to mine them as well. And it provides them with instant liquidity to grow, build their own liquidity into their project, and instant utility. We are a protocol just like an exchange, except we're a mining protocol. So when I hear somebody say, oh, they just opened up 6 other blockchains because it's not a money grab. We just gave millions and millions and millions of dollars away of miners. Okay, not a money grab at all. And you guys know I'm very, I have done nothing but give things away because I really am not about the money. I'm about the community, about giving you guys every opportunity to be able to mine the MoveQuest token. So when we pause a contract, it's because we're upgrading it. And we are always upgrading our systems to the next best technology. When you stifle yourself to the old, eventually you're going to crash and burn. Okay. You can't keep up with the best and the newest. And that's what we're about. MoveQuest is different than anything that's been out there. And a lot of people misunderstand it. And there's people that think they understand it. I love it when people think they're smarter than the creator of MoveQuest and they try to go out there and explain it and then they really botch it up. There's nothing that irritates me more than that because it's like, I'm so accessible. If you don't understand something, I got a phone number. You can pick it up and call me anytime and I will answer your questions. I am in these chats. I am very much available. So when I hear this like gross opinions or their own idea of what this is. It's like, geez, why don't you just come and ask, and we can explain it to you because we are different, but we're better. I mean, honestly, I'm arrogant as heck. I know I am, but this is the best project in the crypto space and nobody's done it like we've done it. And our proof is in the pudding. All you have to do is go to the exchange and you can see it with your own eyes. We've got a very small community. We've got a very strong liquidity pool. We have 120% liquidity coverage. We are stronger than most of your projects who have hundreds of thousands of people, millions of people. And step in, for example, a penny. 2 million people and they're at a penny. We've got 10,000 wallet holders and maybe 2,000 people that submit on a day-to-day basis. And we've got a market value of $6. And when you see major selling, which by the way, we have figured out what that sell off was that other day. But anyway, that's for another conversation, which it didn't harm us, right? The liquidity pool, the ecosystem just pumped $305,000 into the liquidity pool. That's the ecosystems. That's from your fees and the different things that, when you buy boosts or when you evolve your miners, all that stuff, 90% of that stays with the ecosystem. You won't find a project that does that either. Okay, then it was out there that we have a back door. We don't have any back doors. Okay, so I want to address this like really, really quickly. Or not quickly, but very, very thoroughly. And it was compared to what's it called? World Liberty Financial. I guess had never even heard of this project, but I guess it's a blockchain of some sort. MoveQuest and projects like World Liberty Financial. When people hear about pausing contracts or governance adjustments, okay, I can understand fearing, there might be a backdoor or a way for a team to manipulate the system for their own gain. But you got to look at the facts too. In many centralized protocols like World Liberty Financial, there are administrative functions designed to blacklist or freeze their wallets. I had to really go and research this particular World Liberty Financial. Like I said, I had never heard of it. So I spent most of my day today reading up on them. Okay, they do have a back door to your money because they can blacklist or they can freeze their user wallets. Okay, we don't have this. We can pause a smart contract to upgrade the pipes, but we can never reach into your wallet and freeze your MoveQuest or delete your proof of physical activity. Your assets are held in your non-custodial wallet. You're the only one with the keys. We manage the protocol. We don't manage your property. The biggest backdoor in crypto isn't code. Okay, it's tokenomics. In projects like World Liberty Financial, up to 70% of their tokens were handed to insiders and founders before the public ever even had a chance to buy them. Okay, that is a centralized wealth grab. And when you go and you read up on stuff, these are things you guys will want to learn. I'm telling you what, by the time you guys give me a year, you guys are going to be so in tune with crypto. Nobody's going to be able to scam you. You're going to spot a crypto scam a mile away because you're going to learn what crypto really is and what to look out for, what you want to be involved in, what you want to stay away from. And I'm going to tell you right now, World Liberty Financial, if anybody was in it, you wanted to stay away from that puppy right away. In MoveQuest, our back door, it don't exist. Okay. Everything in MoveQuest is locked and bolted to the floor. 0% of our token was allocated to insiders. There's no free tokens for the team. There's no marketing slush funds. If I want MoveQuest, I have to put on my shoes and I got to move just like you guys. Or I have to go and I have to buy it on the open market, just like you guys do. Finally, okay, you guys, I want you to look at where the money goes. Other projects funnel 75% and higher, okay, of the profits or what would be considered fees or revenue that's coming into the project. Okay, that all goes to the founder-owned entities. I'm still taking money out of my pocket to fund MoveQuest, okay? MoveQuest leaves 90% of transaction fees in the ecosystem. This isn't a corporate fee capture. That's not what MoveQuest is. It's a community-led utility. We aren't building a bank. We're building a self-sustaining economy where the value stays with you guys. Okay, you guys are generating this economy. That's why 90% of it stays with you. So when we talk about adjusting the ecosystem, we aren't pressing a button to manipulate the price. We're tuning the engine to ensure that your effort, your proof of physical activity, remains valuable for the next 10 years. That or 20 years, or 30 years, or 40 years, well beyond my life, not just the next 10 days. And almost all of these projects have a shelf life, and most of them are money grabs, and they're usually 3 to 6 months, and if they're lucky, some will make it past a year. We're here 4 years already. We haven't even gotten started. Okay, there was no money grab. We didn't have hundreds of millions of dollars come into MoveQuest with, 50,000, 100,000 people, and they all just vanished and disappeared. We've had 10,700 and so wallet holders, and I think our highest proof of physical activity submission was 5,000. We're just getting off the ground. We haven't even started to market yet. We are decentralized, and we are responsible, okay, to make sure that this protocol is fair, stays operational, and it does what it was intended to do. There was something said about the amount of MoveQuest that goes out every day, which I'm going to share that with you too. In MoveQuest, your sweat is your equity, and we make sure it stays that way. Okay, we are very on top of what goes on in MoveQuest. We're not sitting off on a beach somewhere, okay, sipping on cocktails and, on your money. Your money is in the ecosystem, and we're still sitting behind computers making sure that everything is done the way it's supposed to be done. That's what we are. That's what MoveQuest is. All right, this one here, typical VC-backed projects. And maybe you guys aren't too interested in this, but it's really, really important because people are going to ask you questions. And when you get so much like silly information floating around, you have to have a way to be able to explain it. And so this is why I think that this is really important for you guys to understand. I want to walk you through this chart, especially 30 to 70% normally, okay, of all of the tokens, or whether it be stock or whatever, that's normally going to your founders, your advisors, your VCs. Guess what? MoveQuest, 0. Our pre-sale, we didn't have one. We didn't have one, but all your other projects do. And they raise tens of millions, sometimes hundreds of millions of dollars. And that doesn't go to liquidity. All that's doing is creating whales and putting a lot of money in the creators' pockets. 100%, when we did a liquidity raise just before we listed the MoveQuest token, it went into the liquidity pool. When a token is generally listed or it's minted, the first thing they do is allocate all these tokens out into these different categories, marketing or, development. They've got they'll show a pie chart. Well, they'll give the little pieces and parts of that pie chart of, 10% here, 20% here, 30% here. Then they'll give you this long explanation of what vested is or what a cliff is and all this other stuff. And we did none of that. You have to mine these tokens with your proof of physical activity, or you have to buy them on the market. We didn't grant any tokens at launch. I didn't have I've had them come to me and tell me, oh yeah, we'll build this out if you'll give us 100,000 MoveQuest tokens. I don't need you to build it out. I'm not giving you 100,000 tokens. You either see the value in the project or you don't. I'm not out here begging anybody to get into MoveQuest, and I'm certainly not giving away the MoveQuest tokens. 0 was allocated. And with your other projects, if any of the revenue that comes in, normally up to 75% is funneled to the founders. Guess what? 90% stays to the ecosystem, 10% stays with the project. Now, I also want to go over why being able to upgrade smart contracts is a feature and it's not a flaw. Okay, this is really, really important for everybody to understand. MoveQuest is super, super complex. You guys have no idea if you could get in. There's over 2 million, there's probably closer to 3 million lines of code in MoveQuest. And we have got to be able to go in and manage the infrastructure part of this project. That has nothing to do with your mining rewards, has nothing to do with your claims, has nothing to do with any of your assets. It only has to do with the infrastructure of this project. If there's a bug, we've got to be able to go in and fix that bug. Okay, there's nothing wrong with that. It basically lets us patch the hull without sinking the ship. Now, if we didn't have the ability to go in and update or upgrade smart contracts, we could be in a whole world of hurt, because these contracts, let me tell you guys, if you knew the complexity of this project, you would be blown away. It is very, very complex. It's it's an amazing project, you guys. And when people tell me, oh, this could be copied in a very, very quick, well, I've been told that, but I have yet to see anybody copy. You want to know why? Maybe they could copy it, but when they find out that there really isn't a whole lot of money in it for them, because it stays with the community, maybe they don't see it as being worth it to do. Because literally, you guys, we're not getting rich off of your sweat equity. This was put in place for you to get rich off of your sweat equity. 10% is not padding my pocketbook, trust me. Your rewards, I got to find where I'm at. Rewards management. Okay, here we go. I lost my train of thought here. It's on the bug fixes. All of your mining are managed by smart contracts. Everything that you do in MoveQuest is making a call to a smart contract. You're not making a request to me. You're not, requesting a minimal withdrawal and then waiting for me to approve it. Boom, you make that call and that is in your wallet immediately, instantly. Why? Because it's all smart contract managed. Everything is escrowed in smart contracts. All the logic is in the smart contract. But when we add a feature, we have this core infrastructure. And there's many times where we have to connect a new smart contract from a new feature that we've added so that it syncs and communicates with all of the other smart contracts. And if one of the other smart contracts isn't syncing well with the new smart contract, then we've got to go in and we got to rewrite that contract. We got to connect it all back together, but it still doesn't affect you. It doesn't affect your mining rewards. It doesn't affect anything that you're in control of, and you're in full control of all of your assets. This is probably the circuit breaker. Okay, I put this in here because I'm really hoping that this is the one that really sticks with you, because you have to have these little triggers that if somebody asks you a question, you have a way to answer it. Every major stock exchange has a circuit breaker. Mature DeFi protocols, the MakerDAO, they all have circuit breakers, because that's when a machine speed attack is happening. You need the ability to pause the gate before the damage spreads. Without that, your assets get drained while everyone else is watching. Okay, true decentralization does not mean that you have to leave your system defenseless. It means that you have to build a resilient infrastructure so where the protocol can protect itself without ever compromising who owns what. Never has what you've owned been compromised. But that doesn't mean that we can't go in and protect our system, keep it secure, keep it up to date, keep it with the latest technology, keep it running smoothly, keep it running fast and doing what it's supposed to do. That's how committed we are. We are very committed to making sure that this project always stays on top when you're talking about technology. Okay, we were built for longevity. We are not hype. We didn't get up here and start out, like a lot of these other projects do, with a bunch of hype and a bunch of promises. We've told you from the get go, this isn't a get rich quick scheme. This is a get healthy, be wealthy project, that this is going to take time. It's going to take time to build, but you guys are here. And you guys are why MoveQuest is still here. You guys get it. You understand it. We did use, the Bitcoin, and this reference was made too. Well, they're not just like Bitcoin because we never said we were like Bitcoin. Okay, Bitcoin is really a dinosaur now, right? But it's the biggest dinosaur in the space. And it's an amazing crypto, right? It's what introduced it to the world. Bitcoin was the first of its kind. But it has lots and lots of flaws. And over the last 15 years, there's been so much knowledge and understanding, and technology has come such a long way that crypto isn't the same as what it was when you're talking about Bitcoin. Bitcoin is a blockchain, and it's forked how many times? Why? Because people have made changes. Of course, it created a different coin, but it's still forked from the Bitcoin blockchain, which is making enough change to that blockchain that it forced a new blockchain with its own coin. The BSC, was it BS? I can't remember now. Let's see. I don't hold any of it. What was the first fork that it did? I'm trying to think now. It wasn't BSC, was it? No. Anyway, it doesn't even matter. I'm having a brain melt for a moment. Our hard cap was done on purpose. We did it on purpose, the same number as Bitcoin. That's not a coincidence. Okay, that was a signal. We're telling you with the math that the supply is bounded, it's disciplined, and it's scarce. There's no infinite minting, there's no surprise dilution, and the daily mining amount halves every 4 years, to reward the early participants. But here's the problem with what Bitcoin tokenomics 7,200 a day went out regardless of how big or small the community was. And Bitcoin had a very small community in the very beginning. Okay, actually, for the first 4 or 5 years, much like MoveQuest. But Bitcoin had way too many tokens that went into the market. There wasn't a supply there, it was an oversaturation. So when people get upset and say, well, we have this dynamic mining that's going on, that really wasn't a change. It was just more of a automation based on the size of the community or the submissions that day. We started out, for those of you that are here, at 2,000. And then we had to reach certain community size of submissions. We went to 2,500. And when we got a little bit more, submissions, we went to 3,000. And I think the final one was 3,500. But here was the flip side of it. You can't just decide, okay, if we only have 2,500 submissions today, then today it's going to go back down, to 2,500 MoveQuests that can go out in a day. So we had to make it automated, dynamic, because if the community is growing and the submissions are increasing, yes, there's more emission of the MoveQuest token through the mining. But if the submissions decrease, well, then the emissions has to decrease, because this is based on supply and demand, and it's based on growth. So we do, get rid of the oversaturation of the token. So you don't have a deflated or an inflated market value. It's not about, sending out as many tokens as you can in the beginning before the liquidity is there to support it, so that people who don't get it, don't care, or really just are here to cash off or whatever they can with as many tokens as you can in the beginning, which really dilutes the liquidity pool, can do that. That's not what this project is about. It's about rewarding you for mining that proof of physical activity through your sweat equity. And so all we did was add in the feature that, okay, yes, if the proof of physical activity submissions are increasing, it'll increase at 0.25 per submission. So if there's 1,000 people submitting today, it would be 250 MQT that are able to be dispersed through mining. If it increases to 2,000, then it's 500. If it increases to 3,000, 4,000, then it continues to go up at 0.25. But then if it goes back down, well, it's still at 0.25, but it's based on per submission each day. And this is that dynamic mining. Okay, this is where our supply isn't just fixed, it's dynamic. There is still the ability to have 7,200 MoveQuest tokens being dispersed on a day-to-day basis. And the other thing that makes it nice about this is think about it with Bitcoin. When Bitcoin first got started, it was about having a laptop or a computer. You really didn't need a whole lot of computer power. I remember when I was mining it on my computer, didn't know what I was doing, and I didn't do much with it. And I don't even know if I mined a single Bitcoin, but I was having fun trying to figure it out. But it got to a point where it was about the ASICs and as much of that computer power as you could, and as much, all the electricity used. Bitcoin was so expensive to mine that what happened with Bitcoin is that it became those who had the money or who were rich. Basically, the richer you were, the more you had the ability to mine that Bitcoin. And what it started to do was lock the little guy out. Okay, the people who didn't have the money and couldn't afford to mine the Bitcoin, because if you couldn't afford that all that mining equipment to mine the Bitcoin, you weren't going to mine it. At some point, I mean, it started to cost a ton of money to get involved in mining that Bitcoin. And so now what it ended up doing is that only a handful of companies who had the money to buy all that equipment could actually mine the Bitcoin. And that is almost taking Bitcoin out of being decentralized into a form of centralization, because only so many hold or have the ability to mine the larger amounts of the Bitcoin, because the average person couldn't afford to mine Bitcoin today. I mean, you could go buy yourself a computer or the ASICs or get those, computer cards that you need. It would not be enough for you to mine Bitcoin. You would waste your money because you wouldn't ever get to a Bitcoin today. You've got to have some massive money invested in order to mine that Bitcoin. And that's not what we wanted here. Okay. It's not about how many Titans can I mint and how many accounts can I mine? How many phones do I need? How many fitness trackers can I wear on an arm or connect to? I know some people do this, one of those little clicker things, or those, what I guess you call them, like a watch winder, ting, 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 ting. Okay, you'd have somebody that could afford to do that. And guess what? If they're walking 1,000 steps today, would be amazing. Okay, that's not what we wanted here. So that doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. And that's why they don't do it, because it's not worth it for them to go out and spend, all that money. Because here's the bottom line. It's 0.25 proof of physical activity submission. That doesn't mean you're going to get 0.25 for your submission. It just means that's what can be dispersed. And then it's based on your physical activity. So if you walked 2,000 steps today and somebody else walked 4,000 steps and you're both using Trailblazers, the person who walked 4,000 steps would get more MoveQuest from their mining because they did more physical activity than you would with 2,000 steps. So it makes the mining based on your proof of physical activity, not based on how much money you can afford to spend. And that was another one of the biggest things that we wanted to make sure that we fixed. You still, and what we did do, we have the two, right? We have the mining, we have the hatcheries. 3,100 are being farmed in the hatcheries. Yes, that is like any other, like Ethereum does it. You got all these different other blockchains that do it. You stake that MoveQuest that you have, and you're farming additional MoveQuest. The difference is it's not passive. If you don't submit that proof of physical activity, you can't farm those rewards. If you don't submit that proof of physical activity, you can't mine the MoveQuest. You are an engaged user within the ecosystem. You are spending the money to submit that proof of physical activity. That gets you your mining. That gets you the farmed tokens if you staked in one of the hatcheries. It's not like a trick or a trap. It's about rewarding you for holding on to those MoveQuest tokens and not selling them before there's a demand. And any of you who are here in the crypto space, you get why you want to hold on to those MoveQuest, especially with, our own MoveQuest blockchain. So the hatcheries aren't a trap. We don't charge you for that. You can cancel them at any time. but it does reward you for staking and holding those tokens until there is a demand. That's not a negative feature of this project. In fact, the difference with MoveQuest is that it's not passive. You can't just be anybody, go to the open market, buy MoveQuest and stake it in the hatchery and farm these tokens. Okay, you have to submit that proof of physical activity or you don't get the farmed rewards for that day. Why? Because 90% of everything you do in this project is put into liquidity. That way, you know that the tokens you're mining have got value. And I think we've proven that with the exchange the way it is. Everything here is smart contract managed. You're never waiting on a human to decide to pay you. So you don't have to worry about me or anybody else closing the computer and walking away with your money because 90% of it is in smart contracts. 10% of it is for our operational expenses. You claim everything right to your wallet. We don't have minimals amounts. Okay, well, you can only, how many projects have you guys been in? I've been in many of them where they say, okay, well, you can't withdraw until you have. Why? It's fine. Why can't I withdraw it? Okay, this was years ago. I don't even get involved in those type of projects because if they will only allow you to withdraw and it has to be a minimum amount, they don't have the money to back it. And if they have to approve your withdrawal, they don't have the money to back it. The only reason that's there is just in case they can't do it. Well, if they can't do it, it's because they're mismanagement of your funds. You've got a liquidity pool. If you go to the Tokconomics page, that's got 120% liquidity coverage. Most projects never even reach 100% liquidity coverage. Why? Because 90% of everything you guys spend within this project stays in the ecosystem. You're not competing with me or Waleed or the project itself, like us looking for the best exit strategy because we didn't have any tokens allocated to us. This project was built and designed for this community. All right, so let's talk about the 90%. 90% every transaction fee stays inside the ecosystem. This is what fuels and deepens that liquidity pool. And you guys have seen it many, many times. You'll see sell off, you'll see the liquidity pool where it'll get, start dropping a little bit, and the ecosystem comes in and it'll inject a few 100,000, a 500,000, 700,000 one time in a week. Okay. Everything you spend in this project, it's backing everything you're doing, minus that 10%. Okay, that's what we use for maintenance and future development of this project. 90-10. Show me a project that does that in the crypto space. I've yet to see one, and I don't think you will. So decentralization, just on this alone, if we were centralized, 90% would not be staying with this community. It would be a flip-flop. You'd get 10%, we'd get 90%. We may not be Bitcoin decentralized, but we are very decentralized in the crypto space. Okay, when you look at no insiders, no shortcuts, when you look at this project, no insider allocation. You guys, that's a big deal. I want that to really sink in with you guys. 0 tokens were allocated to anybody in MoveQuest. 0. That is a huge deal. 100% of the liquidity raise went to the liquidity. Every token sold during launch went straight into the liquidity pool. It did not go into anybody else's wallet. Mine to own. Every MoveQuest in circulation, it was either earned through proof of physical activity or it was bought on the open market. We stand in line with you. We operate and move in MoveQuest just like you. No institutional sell pressure here. No whale pressure here. We didn't sell the tokens to put the money in our pocket. It went straight to liquidity. We have no cliff inside of this ecosystem, which means in a year, X amount of tokens would unlock, right? So that I could just go sell them. Okay. You never have to wait for our exit strategy because we don't have one because we didn't get any of the tokens. That is just how amazing MoveQuest is. That is how different we are. If we had copied Bitcoin's mining model exactly, we would have accidentally built a pay-to-win system. Okay, that's what I consider Bitcoin. It was an accidental pay-to-win because that's kind of how Bitcoin ended up. Okay, that's not MoveQuest. It's not whoever can afford the most powerful hardware and the cheapest electricity wins, period. That's fine, okay, for that digital gold. And I love Bitcoin. Trust me, I'm not talking down Bitcoin at all, because if it wasn't for Bitcoin, I wouldn't be in crypto, right? Because there would be no crypto. So Bitcoin is an amazing coin to hold or even have. If nothing else, even if you have just a little bit, just say you have it. But for us, for our fitness protocol, where the whole point is rewarding your physical human movement, it would be a disaster. Okay, if we stuck to Bitcoin's no change type decentralization, you would have high capital players who would buy all the hashing power. They would outcompete every single normal person. And basically, it would end up being a centralized supply in the hands of just a few, industrial farms. That is what happened with Bitcoin. So we did it different. We did proof of physical activity. A quarter of a MoveQuest, 0.25 per validated submission. Equipment matters, okay, at the margin, but movement is the ultimate validator. You cannot buy your way to the top of this leaderboard. You have to earn it through your sweat equity. And that, more than any white paper, is what keeps the network distributed. So if you're going to take one thing home tonight that you could actually use in your own conversation, it's these 4 arguments. Okay, and I've got a document that I've created for everybody because I want you to be able to answer these types of questions when they come up. The first one, the bank versus the vending machine. When a bank wants to update its software, oh, I'm sorry, I went to the wrong one. I'm looking at my slides on my phone as well. Oh, I got to go back to my slide. What slide are we on? 16. I end up on slide 5. Let me go back to my slide 16. I had presenter notes that I write up for these things, and I couldn't read them on my computer. Here we go. Am I on the right slide? 15. What am I on? 13. Sorry, guys. Let me get back to 13. I try to keep myself in line so I can keep going faster, but you can tell I always go off target. Okay, so you're going to hear 4 arguments. If you spend any time in crypto, or in crypto discords or Twitter, you're going to hear every single one of these. The first argument, they pressed a button and changed the rewards. Okay, we don't do that. It's not that we changed the rewards, we just automated them. So because in the very beginning, and I told all you guys this, not everything, we go in and we change until we test the algorithm. Okay, we've tested all that part. We did make it automated. So now it's just based on all of the proof of physical activities. We may adjust the parameters, okay, within our system as far as like updates or adding new features or making things bigger, better, stronger for the community. But we don't adjust your ownership of anything in your assets, okay? You maintain control of everything. When somebody says a proprietary chain is just a fee recapture play, okay, that's not even close to the truth. That's called infrastructure independence. One of the things that we want to do is we want to get to a point where we can have a gasless user experience. Okay, that's running on community run nodes. You can't have decentralized validators without first building the house that they live in. Our goal with the MoveQuest blockchain, yes, there's going to be fees in the beginning, but our ultimate goal as the blockchain grows and it expands, those gas fees will go down to 0, a gasless blockchain. Why? Because we want people to be able to onboard and use MoveQuest without having to worry about gas fees. Is that going to happen on day 1? No, but it is going to happen. And that's our ultimate goal. Not the only goal with our blockchain, but it is one of our goals. And the Hatchery is not a liquidity trap. Okay, it is simply rewarding you for, yes, not selling your tokens before there's a demand, but it's also making sure that the 3,600 MoveQuest tokens that the project had gotten up to is still there. Okay, so it's 31, we're at 3,100 in the hatchery, and it can be 41, up to 4,100 in the mining. Okay, then the other argument was that, MoveQuest is like Apple. Okay, that was actually the comparison. If Apple goes bankrupt, guess what? Probably your iPhones do too, and you'd be stuck with Android. If MoveQuest disappeared tomorrow, meaning MoveQuest Labs, which would be what is considered the company part, and then MoveQuest itself, the project, the blockchain and your assets, guess what? They remain exactly where they are. Okay, so we are not like Apple or any other company that's centralized out there. You don't lose anything that you have. The blockchain is still there. All the records are still on the blockchain. You can still submit. Everything is still operational. Everything is managed by smart contracts that operate on that blockchain. By being decentralized, it doesn't mean that we can't play a very pivotal role in this project or that we can't be exceptional leaders, okay, in this crypto space. It just means there's no middleman here managing your funds. If we have to pause a contract to upgrade it, that doesn't mean that we're seizing anything. We're not. It's still managed by the smart contract. It's still on the blockchain. We manage the code. We don't manage your keys. Your sweat, that's your equity. True decentralization isn't unchangeable. It's unseizable. And we are a layer 2 on a blockchain. Now, when we have our own blockchain, guess what? MoveQuest is still going to be a layer 2. The MQT blockchain is going to be layer 1, just like Avalanche, just like the Binance Smart Chain, just like Solana or Ethereum. MoveQuest will always be a layer 2 project. We are always going to update the pipes to make them faster and more secure. We're going to always balance the valves to keep the economy stable. How about you guys? Don't you guys love not having any whales? It's got to be a breath of fresh air, isn't it? Don't you guys love it that you don't have to compete with or worry, like being liquidity providers in a project and have to worry about competing with the project creators or the admins or the developers or their team to sell your tokens before they sell out and take all the liquidity with them? That's not MoveQuest. You guys have it's an amazing project. So decentralization isn't a lack of leadership. It's a lack of middlemen. Now, you guys, I love, like hearing what the community has to say. And I actually appreciate it because there is a lot of misunderstanding in the crypto space and people's opinions, maybe how they understand things, may not always seem, to some, it may sound, they may sound credible, but it doesn't mean they still understand MoveQuest. So if you guys have questions, send them in because I will absolutely answer them. And they're really good talking points. They're really good educational topics because when people get involved in MoveQuest, if you don't understand crypto, you're going to end up losing somewhere along the line in the crypto space. MoveQuest isn't designed for you to lose. But I really want everybody to understand crypto at the deepest level that you can. And so if there's anything that I can do to help with your questions, I love to hear them. And I like to respond to them or to help you understand how this project works. So hopefully this will clear up a lot of misunderstandings that people have or questions that you might have about how the system works. We will always update our system. But we don't have the ability to take anything away from you. Once those tokens are in that smart contract, they're escrowed to your wallet. We can just go in there and swipe them away from you. We can't mint more MoveQuest tokens. That contract was completely renounced. But we'd be the biggest idiots in the world to put 4 years of time, effort, and money into a crypto project that we couldn't go in and maintain and update these smart contracts as necessary. And if we were like that, there ain't one of you that should have spent a dime on a miner because we'd have probably been locked out of our own system by now. So that will never happen. And if somebody tells you that that means we're not decentralized, they're full of shit. That's what I got to say about that. So, thank you guys for Tuesday night and coming and listen to me rant and rave about what decentralization is and how MoveQuest operates underneath that umbrella of decentralization.
If you're gonna rant and rave, that's the kind of rant and raving I like to hear.
That's funny.
Education. No, we definitely appreciate, the clarity that comes with that, and I know it's going to spark some ideas and some additional questions and things like that. But like you just said, that's how we all get better. That's how we all understand what it is that we have our hands on with this project. So definitely thank you and the time that you put in to structure that in the manner in which you did so that we could receive it as a community. I want to ask you a question. We have one question here that goes in line, and I know you like getting this question, so I'm gonna ask you. The statement is, I think the best way to debunk all of these theories is to have a well-known independent third-party auditor audit the contracts before the launch of the blockchain. Not sure if any of that has been done, but that would quiet them all.
With the AI technology that is out there now for running independent audits, which we may do that, but here's the thing. Audits are super, super expensive. So if the community wants to pool in to pay for these insanely expensive audits, we would absolutely do that. But on the 10% that we have for operating, it's not in our budget. But we definitely, I use Solidity to audit the contracts. And if that's sufficient enough for people, that is a third party, but it's not somebody that, I'm going to spend $75,000 to $100,000 to audit a contract that, one, we already know is secure, that any person can take that smart contract and plunk it into an AI and find out for themselves. There's so much technology out there now where a person can verify stuff on their own. So to answer that question, no, I won't spend an ungodly amount of money for an audit, but I have no problem using like Solidity or some of these other auditing software tools and publishing those, and then people can decide on their own. But when you got 10% that you're operating with, that's an expense that isn't, in my opinion, an important one when there's other options to audit those contracts, because we'd be taken away from the community's liquidity pool and we'd be padding somebody else's pocket to tell us what we already know. And if anybody was real curious about the contracts, our contracts are pretty cut and clear. There's not any nefarious stuff in them. So it's not like we're not afraid of it. I refuse to spend that kind of money to audit those contracts. But I definitely don't have a problem using third-party trusted auditing software so that people can see what we've already published them a couple of different times anyway. I have no problem with that.
Perfect. Okay. Let me see. Well, I don't have anything else on what you shared with us tonight specifically, but definitely we'll be getting this recording out so everybody can have it as a reference point and or to go back and listen to it and fill in blanks and maybe create additional questions as we move forward. We do have quite a few that are inquiring in reference to, I know Waleed is here as well, inquiring to about the hatcheries and those things. So one of you, I don't know if you want to do it, Lynette, or let Waleed address that. That would be helpful as well.
He's on the call. To my knowledge, that's still not done yet, but he can maybe give you a little bit more. I thought it was going to be done earlier today, but it hasn't been completed just yet.
All right. Mr. Waleed, how are you doing this evening, sir?
You're muted, Waleed.
Yeah, I was just making sure he could. Let me click that. There you go.
Hello. Yeah. I couldn't unmute myself. Okay, so the update about the hatchery. The hatchery should be active either in 30 minutes or in the morning. So this is the time frame I'm
The
running.
broad. That's a broad time
I
frame. Well,
mean,
you just say in the morning. Come on now. You
uh,
guys will be ready in the morning. Don't waste your time checking every 30 minutes tonight.
okay,
Come on
okay.
now.
Give me.
Wally, come on.
He's probably going to run a quick test and see if it works. As soon as it
That's
It's
works,
not.
Wally
It's
trying to please the community, but letting you know he's full of you know what, and it'll be in the morning.
uh
hey, you never
We
know.
love
That's
you,
why.
Wally.
okay. Okay, so
Wally,
yeah.
that's a huge
So
spectrum. 30 minutes
really
to
quick. It's a 99%. I'm running the full audit. So I said 30 minutes if the audit is positive. If the audit is negative, it would be in the morning. That's why I told that. So it's
Okay, you guys. Worst case
99%.
scenario, it's going to be in the
I'm going
morning.
to click right there. It should be 100%. But as I said, if the audit is positive, we should be good.
Yeah.
So that's about the
You crack
hatchery
me up.
renewal.
Okay, so basically what you're saying is that anybody that's been trying and having difficulty in whatever capacity, just hang tight. If they choose to, give it an hour or so, they can come back and see if everything goes through. If not, just wait till in the morning and those updates should be made because that's going to be representative to pretty much any issue that a person's having in the hatchery overall, not just
Absolutely.
one specific thing,
Absolutely.
just in general, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
And just one thing I want to say about the Golden Hatchery, and this concerns specifically the Golden Hatchery because the time frame from when you start when you start the card and when it ends, the time frame is too long. So if you have any issue in migration, do not forget to click maybe one, two, three times the button to pre-calculate your submissions, which is in the page itself. So you pre-calculate the submissions one, two times, and just for information, each time you click and you validate that button, it pre-calculates 100 days of submission. So it will make it easier for slow networks to go through the hatchery without issues with the renewal and stuff. So yeah. So if you have any issue after this update in renewing, just click the pre-calculate button, which is the big button at the right of the hatchery if you are on desktop, or you can find it at the bottom if you are on phone.
Yeah, you know what? And I think everybody can rest easy. Whatever they have in the hatchery that's scheduled to be renewed, it's going to be there reserved for you. It's not like you're going to lose your spot or, someone will be able to take the space that's in the hatchery from you. It's reserved for you. So take your time and do it right.
Yeah. One other information. Your app was updated, I think, today or yesterday. We've added the multilingual on the app, not on the site yet. So for people that were asking the last time about the languages, they are there.
Got it. See. Just reading through. And my apologies, I don't see all the names. Let me turn anonymous off.
Somebody asked when the first halving would be, and that would be August 1st of 2029.
Let's see. I believe that's pretty much what we got this evening, everyone. I believe that's
Now,
what.
don't forget on Thursday, we're going to be really going over liquidity. So come to the call with any questions that you have. If you don't understand, how liquidity, grows or how it operates or how it works, our tokenomics, anything tokenomic regarding, we'll be discussing on Thursday.
Got it.
Open discussion.
And as far as I know we're updating and getting everything ready for people to be able to manage their cards. But at this time, there's no expanding of any of the hatcheries at this point, right? It's still first come, first serve based on what we have available.
So here's what's happening right now. So I have to look at what is being okay. So as these cards are coming due, Waleed has to fix this hatchery. So I'm still waiting on a list of the hatchery cards when they come due. As soon as he can get me that list, I need a breakdown of every single card. Okay, so let's say there was 10 that come due today. How many MoveQuest could go into circulation? And then I have to plunk it into my spreadsheets so that I can see what the expansion is going further out. So then I would know how far away we are before we can expand it, or if we already can. But until I get that data, I can't. I have it on a dashboard where I'm supposed to be able to run it, but it times out because there's like almost 13,000 cards just in the golden hatchery itself. Altogether, there's like 25,000 hatchery cards. And so by the time it starts to search for that data, I don't get it. So I was hoping to get it done tonight, but he's running a little bit behind on the fix for the hatchery, being able to renew it. Once I get that, then I'll be able to let you know. So by Thursday, I'm hoping Waleed will be able to get me that data, and then I'll be able to let you guys know if I can expand tier 4 or not. Well, in the morning works for me, Waleed.
Yeah, in the morning, and it will be much faster than the tool that you have right now in the admin. So
I just need one list. I don't even need a tool. I just need you to give me the one list. It doesn't change, right? I mean, if somebody staked the card, 210 days ago, it's not going to change tomorrow. It was, it's once it's staked, it's got a start and an end. So I just need the data once for now, so I can see where we're at on the max capacity.
yeah.
So if I get that tomorrow, I'll be able to let you guys know on Thursday where we're sitting.
Okay. And I know that others have this question as well. I've received several of those in reference to the return of the internal wallet expense accounts for tokens. That is currently in process. Just know and understand that it is a completely manual process, and each wallet literally has to be pulled up individually, and it takes a little time. Some people sent internal wallets, some people sent external wallets, and things like that. So they all have to be checked and verified in order to make sure the right amount's being sent to the right place. But that is in process. Just offer us a little grace on getting that done so that it can be done efficiently and right the first time or what have you. But that is in process.
Yeah, but I have Kashira who is helping out on the manual process of that. And she was able to, because I've shown her how to track everything. So I do know that any of you that had MoveQuest in those wallets that had been hacked was sold already. She was able to tell me it was like 30, when she told me earlier today, it was like 34 or 36 hours ago. So a lot of that heavy selling pressure that you guys seen, 7 days ago, 6 days ago, or whatever it was, a lot of it was from that.
Right.
So glad to see that they offloaded those. I think it was under 700 MoveQuest tokens, so it wasn't huge. I mean, it was not a major deal. So it wasn't the whole selling of that day. A lot of it was the first day the hatcheries had come due. So some people come out of the hatcheries and sold their MoveQuest. But you guys have to look at that and think, okay, so the ecosystem didn't do a market correction, but it did push in, over $305,000 of liquidity. And I think that day 30,000 or 40,000 in MoveQuest had been sold. So it was almost 10 times the amount of liquidity that it pushed in to stabilize the market value that it was at. Okay, you don't see projects have an ecosystem that can do that. So that, you guys have to admit, this is pretty awesome, this project. I get amazed just watching it myself. I know Waleed does too. So, he was telling me the other day, this is the baddest ass project in the market. It really is, you guys. Nothing out there compares to this. If we were a typical project with the size of our community, we'd have been gone 3.5 years ago.
Actually. Okay. This is kind of a hybrid question with a follow-up. And the person is asking to clarify when they are renewing in the Golden Hatchery, is the initial deposit and the rewards able to be renewed or only the initial deposit?
If there's room, then they
Right.
can deposit the whole amount. But if
Exactly.
there's not room, they can't. And see, here's the thing, you guys, with the hatchery. On the simple side of it, you think, well, it's actually a good thing. Just expand it because it would allow more MoveQuests to lock and not be in circulation. But that's not the only thing you have to think about. Remember, I always tell you guys, for every action, there's a reaction. So yeah, in theory, it sounds great. Open it up, 800,000 MoveQuest tokens can go in. But then what it does is it increases the amount that's being farmed on a daily basis. And can the ecosystem handle that when those cards expire? So it's not about, great idea to expand it for more room. It's about what is being farmed on the back end because you can't unstabilize the ecosystem. So it's got an algorithm and it's got a schedule and it's got all of the numbers that it has to, balance on. And so if it was expanded too soon, then it rewards more through farming than it can support. And so that's why I'm waiting on those numbers to see where it's at right now, so that I could let you guys know. So it's also about, you can't destabilize the system down the road to stabilize it now. It's got to have a balanced stabilization through the ecosystem and what it can fund and what it can handle based on the size of the community. So as more people are coming in, the demand for that token is going to go, it's going to increase, which means the market value will go up based on demand for it. People will come out of that hatchery to sell the tokens because some people can't wait till it's 100 or 200. Some people, it hits $50. They're cheesing, right? That's some good money. And for some people, it'll be life changing. And so they will sell and they'll meet that demand, which will open the hatchery, right? So I have to make sure that I'm following, all of the numbers and the tokenomics and the balance of everything. I can't just go in and decide, okay, let's just open it up. It doesn't work like that. Like there's an algorithm that has to be followed. So as much as I wanted to be able to tell you guys if we could or not tonight, I can't. And as much as I would love to please the community and say, yeah, we will, I still can't. You know what I mean? Because we've got a protocol we have to follow, so we don't destabilize the system. And that's me. I'm not a people pleaser, although I love to please, right? I love everybody to be happy, but I can't just do it, because then how do you handle that 6 months down the road or 9 months down the road? So I have to follow, what the numbers tell us. And, tier 3 is open. Tier 1 and 2, there's a little bit of room in those as well. Anything staked is better than nothing. Tier 3 is amazing still. And it's only 130. No, tier 3 is 175 days, right?
135, I think.
135 days. Yeah. Yeah.
And here's one. Can we please break up the Golden Hatchery cards into multiple once they're complete versus all or nothing?
Well, I would
Not
love to
all or
say yes
nothing,
again
but
too, but
half.
right. I
Yeah.
wish you could. We didn't really think that far ahead. And here's the other thing. It's not that we really think that far ahead, but the Golden Hatchery is massive coding, and we only have so much room within a smart contract. And Waleed will tell you himself, we're maxed out at the amount of code we can have in that smart contract. And every time he has to go in and do something, he has to, go in and compress code or, see what he can remove or what we can live without. It doesn't make a change on your end, but to, really scrunch that code down so he can fit another line in. So to go in and make that feature available, I wish that we would have done that in the beginning, or that we would have even thought that far ahead. Where, like, to me, when I'm holding and staking crypto, I put it all in, all in. I don't care because I'm a crypto hoarder. But when you're looking at, well, what if I need to sell some of that? Those smaller cards are nicer because then you don't have to cancel, go back in through the nest. You've got multiple cards. Colin is actually the one that really started making me think about that, because he's the one who likes to do the $5 cards. And I'm like, that's fully a good idea, because not $5 card, 5 MoveQuest, per card. Because then if you do need, or an emergency comes up, you don't have to lose all of your farming rewards because you had to cancel one big card. You can just cancel 1 or 2 smaller cards and you have access to that MoveQuest. But I think that would be a big ask of Waleed to do that. What I would do, go ahead, Waleed. What are you going to say?
No. I mean, first of all, the contract is pretty limited, and that's why on the MoveQuest blockchain, we've extended the capacity of the contract to hold twice the code that it has. The Golden Hatchery is pretty complex. That's from the technical side. Now, from the practical side, we have users that were able to get in the Golden Hatchery, and we had users that was not able to get in because the tier was full. And originally, in the design of the Golden Hatchery, there is a competition to get into the Golden Hatchery, but there is also a what's called a hope for people that didn't get in to have the room to get in at some point. And I think it's fair. If you finish at your Golden Hatchery, you can renew, of course, but you should not
What
be
about an
able to
auto renew
freely do.
button?
No buttons. No
What
auto
about
renew.
when you renew?
There is no auto renew in the blockchain.
Wait. What about doing renew? Okay, I want to renew.
We are not
But I
changing
want
the Golden
you,
Hatchery at all.
listen to me, 10
Okay.
cards with X amount in each card.
Oh my God. Oh, oh my. I'm listening.
Well, no, I'm just trying to think of how you can make it work for the community. If I've got 501 card, can I do 10 cards with 50 each?
You can, if you start the nest with that, and the
I don't want to
duration
go
of the
back to
10
the
days.
nest.
I mean, there is no split possible in the Golden Hatchery.
I'm giving you
I'm
a hard
saying,
time, Waleed. I already know.
no,
I
it's
know,
not
though.
even.
I know. I do know, but I get it. It would be too much anyway on a smart contract. You guys, you have to understand,
Yeah.
the blockchain only has so much capacity. Like, it has to be able to record all of this before it times out. Then it's about gas fees and making sure that, the gas fees are where they're supposed to be. I mean, there's so much that goes into this. But anyway, Waleed, I just wanted to see if you'd have a heart attack or a stroke, or if we'd still have you on the call. If we'd hear you hit the floor or anything.
Well, this is the thing. I mean, the blockchain is basically the dumbest computer on earth, meaning that your calculator at school at the time would be probably much faster to do calculation than the blockchain itself. So we are really limited in what a smart contract can do. We've pushed that, trust me, at the limit.
Yeah, we've
and
really pushed the bar, you guys, when it comes to this project. You guys have no idea.
yeah, the smart contract is not supposed to do this. To be honest,
Right.
a smart contract is not supposed to do all this stuff. And you can see it when you go to the Golden Hatchery. When I say you have to push the button to pre-calculate the submission, you can wonder that we are on the edge of the smart contract, and you need to help it out with a pre-calculation, which is outside of the contract. If technically speaking, we were able to do it in the contract in the same transaction, we would have done it. So we are really on the edge with the Golden Hatcheries. I mean, Lynette, you saw how much I was trying to cut the bytes
I'm
in the
just giving you a hard
contract to be
time.
able just to deploy it. Because if I have 2-3 bytes more, then what it should, it cannot be deployed, and it cannot even be read and treated with the RPCs. So this is
Yeah.
said, the test is
Hang on. I want to talk. I want to answer Kay's question. I love this one because I've thought about this too. But then there's a flip side, right? It's the cup half full. Waleed, we get it. You don't have to do this. I was giving you a hard time because you guys. You want to know what? 4 years ago, Waleed would barely even speak on a Zoom. Now he just comes right out and says, "Hell no, we can't do it." I love that. So anyway, I was just giving you a hard time.
I've noticed that. That's awesome.
Yes, I
That's
know.
actually
He's coming out of
that's
his
a big
shell.
that's a big shout out to Waleed, man. He will always be our top WG, man.
He's had to learn how to fight with me.
No, man, I rate that guy.
I'm not
This
fighting with you.
Waleed is the
Technology
man.
is fighting with you.
So Lynette,
What's-
Lynette, before you go to that question, I just want to maybe we can park it here. Waleed, would that be more amenable, or would you be more amenable to taking a look at that once we're on our own blockchain?
MoveQuest.
Of course. Yeah.
There
Once we
go.
are on our move, I mean, the reason why we've designed the blockchain at the first place is that the current blockchains are really, really small compared to what we want to do with the whole project. And that's why the idea of the blockchain came up, so we can know what is possible to do on our blockchain compared to all the other blockchain, and without any exception. Solana, Binance Smart Chain, Avalanche, all of them, Polygon, they all are limited, and they were not designed to host complex applications. And I mean, and that's fair. I mean, for a blockchain, initially what they did is that they created contracts that are able to handle liquidity pools, that are able to handle I mean, NFTs contract, or ERC20 tokens, etc. contract.
Very
So
small contracts.
yeah, I mean, they did not expect at the beginning to have to host complex applications. And when I say complex application, I mean it's a simple extrapolation. If I have twice the room to write complex code, I would make twice complex and efficient code. So that's it's as simple as that.
Gotcha.
Yeah, we'll have the ability to do more on our own blockchain. But talking about blockchains too, you guys, when the one person that I was referring to had said something about, basically like it being a money play kind of thing with our own blockchain. And he wasn't being negative. It was more about like, yes, we'll be able to add more features and do more things. But I want you guys to understand it's not a money play again, because 90%, you guys got to remember this, 90% stays with the community. So when we have our own blockchain, 90% of that MoveQuest used for gas fees belongs to the community. You guys will have 90% stake in a blockchain. We have 10% stake in that blockchain. This whole blockchain thing is bigger than what a lot of people probably understand, or what we're doing behind the scenes to have our own blockchain. The community, 90% of all of this belongs to the community. It's the same thing with a blockchain. Imagine every time somebody uses MoveQuest to, do a transaction on the MoveQuest blockchain, you guys have a 90% stake in that. It belongs to the community. The ecosystem holds 90% of everything you do or spend. So people who are using our blockchain, every time they spend that fee, that's liquidity. It drives more use for the MoveQuest token, more utility for the MoveQuest token. The idea behind having our own blockchain had nothing to do with it being, more ways to, have people spend money within the project. It's another utility, another use for the MoveQuest token. No different than, Bitcoin would be, or Ethereum would be, or Solana would be, or the Polygon or Avalanche fees. So, they all have them. The last question here, how about booting people out of the Golden Hatchery if they don't claim or renew within a set number of days, like 90 days? There may be cases of people getting stuck either by becoming inactive or even passing away. Thoughts? Okay. So I will look, I'm going to do some research on this and make sure that that wouldn't be us. What do you want to say? Because decentralization is important to me. Does it mean that we could push somebody out of tier 4 if they don't do something? I have to look and see how that could happen. I don't know that we could push them out, but maybe we could put in like a safety feature. Let's say that when 10 days or 15 days comes up, that space could be added to the tier. And if we have some kind of a flag on that card or whatnot, it couldn't renew. But Waleed, you'll have to think on that one too to see what's possible in that regard. Because I do
We
get what
cannot
you're
boot
saying. If
people.
somebody does, I'm not saying boot,
Yeah.
but not let it renew. So if a card was to sit there more than 10 or 15 days, let's say, and they didn't renew it, there's a possibility maybe where it isn't eligible to renew after X amount of days or something. But we'll have to think on that and talk about it. It's not something we need to talk about right now on the call. I got to do some research and see, what that would do on a decentralized level. But I understand, like you're saying, what if somebody passes away? If they didn't give access to their, wallet or the system to family or friends or somebody they trusted, what happens? They sit there forever. I mean, that is going to happen at some point. It'll get clogged up with somebody that doesn't claim their tokens or renew them. But then there's a flip side to that too. If they are locked in that contract and they never do anything with them, one, they're not farming tokens, obviously. But we can look at some of those. If they're not actively submitting for X amount of days, there's got to be a way, even if it's just to increase based on that. I don't know. Waleed and I don't have to talk about that, but that is a very valid point. What's being brought up in that question. So, Kay, bring that back to me again next Tuesday. That same question, and let's see where we land on it. And it may not be something we can do on the Avalanche chain, but it may be something that we can implement over on our chain where we can, because like Waleed said, we're pretty limited on the code we can do right now in the Golden Hatchery, but it may be something that we can do over on our own blockchain. And so we'll see about that. We may even be able to do, if you're on the Avalanche chain and you want to migrate over to the Hatchery on our chain, Waleed's going to punch me, but we'll see. We'll look into everything that we can do. For those of you that don't want to, necessarily be in the Hatchery on the Avalanche side, want to be over on the MoveQuest chain, what we can do to make that happen. So Waleed, you'll have to put your thinker cap on, and we'll have to talk about this stuff too.
Yeah. By the way, the Golden Hatchery should be live in between 5 and 10 minutes.
Oh, did you finish the audit and it worked? It
Yeah,
passed?
yeah, the audit is positive. Yeah. So everything is good. I'm doing
Hey,
the transfer. Yeah, I'm doing the transfer right now for the contract, and yeah, we should be good.
Okay, hold on here a second. This is Ron. This is absolutely yes, 100%. With the blockchain having more room for coding, would there ever be an instant where MoveQuest allows companies to build their applications on the blockchain with MoveQuest having the application portal somewhat like a Play Store? So we wouldn't have okay, so like when you go to Solana, you can see like all the projects and stuff that are building there, what DeFi is there, what's this, what's that. So we'll be able to show that on our blockchain. Any project can build on our blockchain. They don't need our permission. They can come right in. They can be building right now on our testnet, preparing to launch when our blockchain launches. And anybody who needs information for that, we can make sure the documentation is up on that, can't we, Waleed?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. We will do the documentation, and I need you guys to understand the principle of doing a blockchain first of all, because like Lynette, I've seen some messages on Twitter talking about the gas fees and how we are collecting the gas fees. None of the blockchains are making real money from the gas fees. Gas fees means that you run validator nodes. So anyone that would run a validator node would collect the gas fees. Generally speaking, when a blockchain is launched, what the owner does is that he mints the totality of the tokens, distribute them for investors, for development, for marketing, for himself, wait for the blockchain to get viral or to have meaningful value, then they start selling the tokens, which is not the case for MoveQuest because the tokenomics of MoveQuest were done previously before the blockchain itself, meaning that none of us will take any MoveQuest from building the blockchain as a native coin because they will have the same supply across all the blockchains. So I need you to think about that. That's the principle of the blockchain. And once it's done and live, it's out in the nature. So it will be up to us to make the explorers, to make the applications that would provide information about the blockchain, the development, etc. But also third parties would do that. Just like Avalanche, you see that you have Snowtrace, Snowscan, like Etherscan, etc. So these explorers are not done from the creator of the blockchains. These are also third party that would create the explorers, would create the nodes, etc., etc. So the blockchain is really a decentralized full application. Once it's launched in the nature, it's totally decentralized. Yeah, I know it's not really interesting what I'm saying, but
Oh yeah, we understand.
all right, okay.
And just to offer some clarification, if and when there was ever anything put in place, and again, she said that, they're going to have to visit this later. It won't be anytime soon. If there were ever a time when there was some mechanism put in place for people in the hatchery that have not been there in an ample amount of time, it won't be 2 weeks, or whatever. It would be over I'm pretty sure, a significant period of time to say, hey, this person is totally disengaged. I'm pretty sure it would incorporate, okay, this wallet address hasn't been submitting. These tokens have been sitting here for X amount of time. It won't just be one little thing or what have you. So just,
Yeah, and I don't really like the idea of like just pushing somebody out of the, especially tier 4, because honestly, if they're not farming the rewards, it's still less that than is what is going in.
circulation.
The whole idea is, I mean, this is also part of the I got here first,
Yeah.
right? This is an advantage to all of you who have been here, and you've locked into that tier 4, and you have to know that as we grow, if you come out of that tier 4, good luck getting back in it, right? If some people aren't able to auto renew, maybe they're on vacation, or maybe they are sick, maybe they're in the hospital. We don't know what anybody's, personal situation is. Can't really lock them out. I mean, once they've secured that spot in that golden hatchery, I mean, they've secured that spot. They are going to choose really when they come out of it. I really don't even think it should be something that we even consider, pushing them out. If I can do, if we can think of a way, to allow more room. I don't know. Like I said, I have to revisit that and really think on it. But it really is about first come, first serve. And, there will be people that exit from tier 4. And when they do, you want to jump in and get that spot. And then you want to hold on to it as long as you can. There's going to come a time when there's room, right? People will leave. The demand is there. The market value is high enough. People will come out of that tier 4, and you'll be able to get that space. And it is very competitive, honestly. You've got to really watch and be ready to go. So you want to have, your tokens in the nest and be completed in the nest so that you just have to push that button and get in to tier 4 and then hold on to your spot. Some people may just be holding on to it. They don't have the money to submit right now, but they don't want to lose their spot. I mean, there could be many reasons why somebody's not renewed yet, and so I mean, personally, I think it would be wrong for us to just say, okay, if you didn't do it within 10 or 15 days, you lose the ability. I'm going to do some thinking on this, and I don't think that it would be right to do that. I mean, you're in control of your assets. So we take that control away if we push you out, and that would be wrong. And we don't even have it written in that way. So I don't even know if I'd want to. And like I said, if somebody got into tier 4, let's say they've got 5,000 MoveQuest sitting there, right? I don't know if there's even any cards that high. I haven't looked because I don't have that data in front of me yet. But whatever the amount is, they may not be in a situation where they're even submitting right now, but they don't want to lose that spot. They're not farming any MoveQuest, so you have to think about it on a community level too. If they're not submitting, they're not farming, and those tokens are still locked up. So it still has an advantage to the community. You might not have the advantage of getting into tier 4, but you should have moved faster, right? If you didn't get into tier 4. And whatever you put in, at least you can renew that. You may not be able to renew the farmed rewards. Those may end up back in your wallet if there's not room. But all you do is put them back in the nest and go into tier 3. When tier 3 is full, put them into tier 2. That's a very limited staking and farming contract. And it really doesn't increase a whole lot more than what it is right now, because that's got a limit too. And so what would end up happening, let's say we just grew like crazy overnight and 4,100 MoveQuests were being mined a day, we're still locked into 7,200 max per day that can be mined. So we still have to be mindful of what is in the hatchery and what could be mined, because like I said, there are parameters for both. So if, let's say we just didn't grow, yes, there is room where the hatchery could increase, but then the hatchery would begin to decrease as the community grew, because it still has to allow for 4,100 to be mined a day through the mining emissions. So it's a crazy little balance act with an algorithm for the tokenomics of both of those features. You know, the best bet is just once you're in, don't come out of tier 4 until you are good and ready to come out, because you may not get back in. I think tier 4 will always be full. I think tier 5 will always be full. I think it'll be very difficult to get into tier 5. Tier 5 is one that won't expand past 50,000. If it does, it would be not by a lot. I mean, there is some room, but I don't see it happening anytime soon. Tier 4, if it does expand, it ain't going to be by a whole lot. It wouldn't be more than 5 to 10,000 more MoveQuest, and that would be a high. So you have to, like when we told you guys how important the tier 4 is, tier 4 didn't max out for a long time. And a lot of people waited. Now they want to get in because they see the value in it, but it's one of those, you snooze, you lose. How many times you guys hear me say that on these calls? You snooze, you lose. Seriously, it is kind of that way with tier 4. And there's a lot of new people that want to get in to tier 4, and I get that too. And I wish everybody could. I really, really do. But unfortunately, it is competitive. That's part of the gamification. I wish everybody could be in tier 4. You'll get in there eventually. You just have to watch for it. And for Lori, you have one coming up in a week. It'll definitely be done by then. Waleed said maybe even yet tonight or in the morning.
Right now. So
So
the
you are
server is
good.
restarting. Yeah.
Oh, he's restarting the server. You guys should be able to renew.
After it restarts. So
Yeah.
You should have just waited till
you should have just waited. Not working. Give him a minute.
You should have just waited till morning, Waleed.
I need to get I need to fix this and to get it. I mean, every
Oh, if you
minute
get it done
counts, so-
tonight, I've got 2 things on my list you can do before you go to bed.
Okay.
I'm joking with you. Oh my gosh. See how nice he is? I would have told him to shut up if that was me. I'm like, I'm going to bed. You can put that on hold for tomorrow.
Hey, well, remember, this is a global project, so it is tomorrow in Australia and New
It is,
Zealand.
isn't it? Yeah.
Asia
It is in the
Pacific,
middle
right?
of the morning for Waleed. What is it, 4 or 5 o'clock a.m. for you, Waleed?
That's true.
2.
Waleed doesn't sleep. You guys, for all of you who didn't know that, he's actually my AI robot. He's trained very well. I've uploaded all my data to him. I'm tired. I got to go to bed myself because it's only 9 o'clock. Oh no, I got to go watch Hannity.
All right, Miss Lynette.
Hannity in bed.
We're almost finna hit the top of 2 hours here. So definitely appreciate you for
Yeah, so much for my 20, 30 minutes. See you guys. I never will do it.
Whoa, time flies when you're having fun.
I understand.
Right.
So, we're going to go ahead and let everybody have the rest of their evening. Once again, we want to thank all of you for coming out and joining us. Hope that there was some positive nuggets received this evening by someone. And we will be back with everyone again on Thursday. So until then, I want to say have a
Yeah.
wonderful.
Hold on. Yeah, I know you want to say
One,
that, but Kathy just said something here. You've done so much to allow us to grow and expand already to, I think it says to say or to start a use it or lose it attitude just doesn't seem proper. I was joking, you guys. So if anybody took that the wrong way, I really was kind of joking, kind of serious, kind of joking. But you got to think about it. When you get involved in something and you know it's hot and you know it's good, even if you think you got all the time in the world, if you snooze, you do lose. And in the tier 4, you didn't get right in. Now that doesn't apply to the new people that have gotten started in MoveQuest. I get why you want to get into tier 4, but you weren't here, you didn't hear about us or whatever. But for those of you who are in the community that aren't in tier 4 and you want to be now, you guys had plenty of room. So Kathy, if you took me the wrong way, I apologize. I come off rude sometimes, but I'm really not being rude. What I think is funny, most people don't think is funny at all. Sometimes I just sit here and laugh at myself, and people just give me a look like that chick's off her rocker. But I entertain myself, and sometimes my humor doesn't really make sense to other people. But I really didn't mean that in a bad way.
All righty. Well,
please, one last word for the Zoom. I know I've said it before, and I'm going to say it again. When you get to your hatchery and you are not able to renew or to do anything or to read your cards, please click the pre-calculate submissions. That would help your RPC to get your data in the browser. So if you have issues, first thing first, pre-calculate the submissions. So you may have to do it once, twice, maybe, but once it's done, it would pre-calculate your hundreds of days of submissions, so the data can come easily in the browser.
okay. That's a good one to leave them on. Y'all have a wonderful rest of your evening. Hopefully everybody has an easy time with the hatchery. If not, we'll address that in the morning. Everybody, y'all have a wonderful rest of your evening.
Global state, claim your fame. MoveQuest, start the game. Touchdown, crowd rose, banners in the sky. All flags, one flow, everybody fly. Heart rate, upgrade, engine in my chest. Every step, every rep, going for my best. Clock tick, sweat drip on the painted lane. No script, just grit, just muscle and brain. I came from the grind, from the long dog miles. Now the world locked in on my profile. Welcome to the MoveQuest games. Earn that MQT for your pain. If you feel that burn in your veins, put your hands up high. MoveQuest games. Every loss, every win, every trial. We were built for the sweat and the strain. The elite are flexing their fire. Are flexing their fire. Yeah. Whoa, yeah. Line up, eyes up, silence in the air. One breath, then burst, I'm already there. Chasing that mark, that record on the wall. Either I rise or I Put your hands up high. MoveQuest games. Every loss, every win, every trial. We will build for the sweat and the strain. The elite are flexing their fire. Are flexing their fire. From the block to the track to the mat to the ring, every move that you make is a crown, is a ring. From the screen to the street to the roar of the stands, all the grind, all the time in your hands. Hands up. Welcome to the